All right, David Harry here, and just ignore all the mess and everything. What it is, I'm actually just set up to do some testing, so I'm not going to clear the frame because I need to get on with something. Right, what it is, this video is a definitive side-by-side test of the iPad Pro 2020 and the 2021, specifically to do with the problems within PUBG and the fact that the 2020 is better than the 2021 on every single level. Maybe frame rate, but I'll get into that later at the end of this video probably. But as far as resolution is concerned, 2020 is still better as far as absolute render resolution is concerned. And don't forget, you have to be in 4K to see these things. You're not going to notice this quite possibly straight on the screens, or if you're just doing like low resolution 1080 captures and stuff, which is what most people do. I work at 4K and I can see these things, and my videos prove it as well. On top of that, though, there's the issues to do with the shadows and things like that. So very specifically, I'm going to set both of these iPads up like side by side and go through absolutely everything just to show to people that, yes, you know, the results that I'm getting are because I know what I'm doing and I've set stuff up. Now, this video isn't done as a response because there's idiots in comments. To be honest, I've got no time for these people. They mean nothing to me. Trolls and stupid people mean nothing to me. I just leave them to get on and do their own thing, basically. However, I've seen comments by people who I believe are genuinely seeing something different than me. Now, this is the thing. I am open to the fact that, you know, there's quite possibly bugs going on here, and these bugs will happen depending upon maybe hardware or different configurations of setups and stuff like that. So, although I'm saying, and I know for a fact that the 2021 still isn't as good as the 2020, it could be down to bugs and stuff. So that's the reason for this video. I'm most certainly not doing this video because there's been morons in comments. Do you know what I mean? They can just go and slip away and fade into the distance as far as I'm concerned and never be heard ever again. That's how much disrespect I have for those types. No, this video is because I respect the opinion and the view of genuine and honest people, and I know for a fact that there are genuine and honest people out there who have disagreed with what I've said and done, and that is fine. I respect people who may have a difference of opinion than me, as long as I understand that that person is being genuine. Do you know what I mean? You can disagree with me all day long, and in fact, I think disagreements, unless it goes into stupid arguments, disagreements, if it means people can meet in the middle and work something out, I think that's a good thing, okay? I'm up for that. I mean, you know, disagreement for the sake of disagreeing, no, not at all. But if through disagreements people can meet in the middle on stuff, or if disagreements mean that people look at a situation and come up with a better scenario or a better outcome, that can only be a good thing. So I'm doing this video because there are genuinely good people out there who I know and understand are seeing different stuff to me. Do you know what I mean? That's why I'm doing this video, not for the loonies and nut jobs. Anyway, so let me get into this. It is a long, boring video. It already is. I've started it off long and boring, but that's just my thing. So, yeah, get used to it. Or, well, you don't have to get used to it because you're probably likely to never watch any more of my videos again. However, this video is going to be long, and I'll go into great detail and stuff like that. And it'll all be done in one take when I get onto the iPads and all that stuff, just so people know exactly what's going on here. Anyway, let me get into this big, long, boring video. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do here then is to identify which iPad Pro is which. So, the one on the left here, this is the 2020. The one on the right is the 2021. Now what I'm going to do is just to confirm all that through the settings, and let's have a look at software and stuff. Anyway, so if we go to About on both of them, what we're going to see is the 2020 says it's an iPad Pro 11-inch 2nd gen. That means it's a 2020. Also, model number there, you can confirm what it is with that model number. And then on the 2021, it's saying iPad Pro 11-inch 3rd gen. That means it's a 2021 for the 11-inch. And then also as well, you've got model number. Same thing, you can look for that model number. It'll tell you what that is. However, if we have a look at software version, the 2020 is on 14.7 and the 2021 is on 14.6. Now, if I come back one here and if I go into software update as we will see, the 2021 is offering me another update, but that's a beta, so you can't run beta software when you're doing like proper empirical testing like this. You have to use you have to get your baseline, and that baseline would have to be anything that's official, as it were. So right now, the 2020 is right up to date with its official operating system. I'm not going to load the beta because betas can cause issues. However, when we look at the 2021, that's only on 14.6 with no offer of any updates. So right now, I can only have 14.6 on that and 14.7 on that one, okay? Now, I don't know if somewhere else in the world, maybe other people are on 14.7 for the 2021, but today is, let's see, it's the 10th of the 7th, 2021, and that's all I can officially get my hands on. So right now, if there are any problems between these two systems because of the operating system, that is something which is nothing to do with me. That's down to Apple, and that's something that I don't have control over. But it would be interesting if people in the comments could let me know, is 14.6 all that they have access to right now as far as official software, not beta, is concerned for the 2021. Okay, so I'm going to come out of there. Now I'm just going to launch PUBG on both of them. What we'll do, we'll see the numbers come up in the corners here for the version, right in the top left there. So we'll see that it's version 15. Well, it'll be 15 point something. Let's have a look. Okay, so it should come up. So there we go, 1.5, sorry, 0.0, point something something. And again here, 1.5, 0.0, 0.15331. Both of them are 1.5. I said version 15, I meant 1.5. Okay, so they're both up to date, very latest and the same. So let me come out of there. Now what I'm going to do is let me test for, we'll show that both of them have got all the same updates as well first of all. So we'll go to settings on both, and then so I'm trying to do both of them at the same time. I'm getting really confused with my little tiny simian brain. Right, so let's go to downloads, and what we're going to see here is if we have a look at resource, there are only 3 extra large resources here, but both of them have got them downloaded and installed. We can see all the tick boxes are in play there. Now, if we go to maps, this map data will be just extra things like new textures and like maybe objects and stuff like that, meshes or whatever, I don't know. But nonetheless, as you can see here, the 2020 has got all of them downloaded and installed, and so does the 2021. So there we go. Now if we go to separate resources, there's 2 lots of those, and both are like up to date with them as well. Now interestingly, if we have a look quickly here, I didn't look at it on the others, but we'll do it here. These resource packs, right? If you have a look, they are different sizes for both. So on this side, the 2020 is say 110 meg for the voice pack, but it's 124 meg on the 2021. And then when we have a look at the HD icons, I'm not entirely sure what they're for, but that's 124 meg and that's 110 meg. In fact, let me just quickly look at the map resources. So looking at the top to Miramar, let's just see. Actually, they're not in line here. Wait there. I'm gonna have to. Right, what it is, they're in a different order. In fact, let me just go to the main resources. Let's see how they pan out. Okay, the main resources are the exact same sizes, okay? The map data here, what it is, I'm trying to find Miramar on this side, just so we've got 2 to look at. Hold on. Can't find Miramar on that side. Right, what it is, these might be unique differences per model, but as we can see, the separate resources with different sizes, although they both are all bang up to date. We know that because we're not being prompted for other updates, which we would do at this point here. But the main resource itself, which is the main, I think that's the main core of the game, they are both they're identical on both sides. So immediately there, we have seen that there are actually differences. Now, they could be differences that do make a difference for certain things to do with the graphics, do you know what I mean? Especially in here on the map, do you know what I mean? A lot of this stuff could be different. In fact, that with the Arena Hangar there, well, actually, they're the same. That's 35.1 megabytes. That's 35.1 megabytes. I can't find Miramar on that side. I'm going to find Vendi on this side. Yeah, with the Vikendi. Vikendi, right, Vikendi. 113, 113. Okay, it looks like the map datas are all identical. The reason why I can't find Miramar on one side is that because I wasn't looking in the right place. So there's Miramar, 280.6, 280.6. Okay, so it looks like it is all identical except for the resource things there. Okay, voice packs, whatever. I doubt that they would have an impact. Definitely not voice packs. That's audio by the sounds of it. They wouldn't have an impact on graphics. So yeah, they're slightly different. Don't know what they're for, but that is a difference, obviously. Now, if we go to graphics, sorry, I hung out on that for quite some time there. I just wanted to be sure. Hopefully, that might mean something to someone else that, they could see all that data as well and see that there was slight differences. Okay, because obviously what I'm trying to do here, I'm not trying to prove that the 2021 is broke. I'm actually getting to thinking here that there might be bugs which are causing this. So it could be that those shadow things that I'm saying don't exist on the 2021. Maybe sometimes, or maybe different settings or whatever, they do exist. In which case, that would be a bug. And nonetheless, I would still be correct in saying, look, it's not working, because if things are suffering from bugs, it means they're not working properly, which would be why I've seen it and others aren't. What I'm doing here, I'm just erring on the side of caution, because I'm not going to call someone a liar, you know what I mean? Because maybe there are bugs, in which case that would be the reason why I would be getting different results. Anyways, yeah, so let me just continue. Now, as far as the graphical quality is concerned, we can only go to Ultra HD if we want to have the highest frame rate here. Now, Ultra HD here refers to the rendering, so that would be like textures and resolution and like certain types of detail and stuff like that. So the higher that setting, the better looking the picture is. Then obviously down here we've got frame rate, and that is self-explanatory. That's how many frames per second, the smoothness of the motion of the game. So they're both identical, as we can see. Now if I come down here, sorry, hold on, I'm just getting notifications here. Hold on, I'm just going to block these. It's just easy for me to put my hand over the notifications rather than try and blur them out. Right. Okay, so if we come down here, the next thing to look at here is, right, the looks. I'm on classic for both of them. Now the thing is, these looks here, these don't actually put any extra drain on like the resources for rendering. If you can think, these are like LUTs almost. They're not, but they're similar. It'd be like having a hard-baked look like Rec 709 or Rec 2020. That's all these are. They're basically like color changes. It's like a color cast to the final output. So in essence, they don't actually put any extra strain. So, one would be as the same as the other as far as like what it does to the system. However, it could be that if you're in a particular look, maybe there's a bug associated with that which has a knock-on effect to something else. I don't know. I'm only surmising here and suggesting things. I'm not saying for sure or definite here when I say it could be a bug for certain things. Now, if we come down here, as we can see, water reflections off, anti-aliasing on, shadows on, and the same on this side as well. Water reflections off, anti-aliasing on, shadows on. Now, the reason why I don't have water reflections on is because you can only have one or the other. And in this instance, in fact, I was going to say, because I'm going to a desert scene or whatever, I'd rather have the anti-aliasing because there'd be very little water. In all honesty, though, even if it was like a lot of water and stuff in the, in like the level, I would still have anti-aliasing switched on. Anti-aliasing helps to smooth out certain things to do with like rough edges on graphics and stuff. It helps to stop those things like jagged edges and stuff like that. Also, as well, with a lot of games, the texture maps are lower resolution than the final output quite often, so they have to be upscaled. Now, any kind of upscaling, anti-aliasing will assist with upscaling as well. So anti-aliasing is a lot more useful to the picture quality than what water reflections are. Water reflections obviously make certain things look pretty, but anti-aliasing is like an overall improvement to the entire picture. So to all intents and purposes, they are identical as we've seen there. I'm just thinking, is there anything else? No, there's nothing else for me to show here. We now know the baselines that we're working from. Now, what I'm going to do here is actually, do you know what? Straight away here in the lobby, we can see there's a shadow on my player there, and there isn't on that one on the 2021. Okay, so that's quite telling. In fact, you know what, just before I go any further, let me just try something here. Let me go back to settings on both. And where are we? Graphics. Sorry, I'm getting confused because there's two in front of me. Right, so lobby, let's have a look there. Okay, well, I've got my lobby settings different there. Hopefully that's why that's like that, because... Oh, actually, look, yeah, look at this. There we go. Look, shadows are switched on there, right, for lobby, yeah? Let's have a look here. And shadows are switched on there. Now, even before we get into the game, let's check this out. Okay, right, so these are the lobby settings. Doesn't matter that these are different with Ultra and HD and all that, because we're not looking at picture quality here. We're looking for the thing to do with shadows. We can clearly see that both of them are saying shadows should be on, you know, for the lobby. But when I go back here, hold on, no shadow in the lobby, and that's got shadows. That clearly right now is showing a difference, and it's showing that isn't doing what it should be. Is it a bug, or is it just because the M1 isn't capable of doing it? I don't know, but it's definitely wrong. Okay, now what I'm going to do, let me just double check what mode I'm in here for the games, because I want to go into, yeah, there we go. So I've just got Miramar selected for classic on both. Okay, so that's okay. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to go into the game for both. Now, I appreciate this video is long and all the rest of it, but I can't speed up and I can't go chopping my way through it either, because people need to know that this is all consistent in one go. Okay, what's going to be interesting here as well, let's just see what shadows are as soon as you go straight into the base for the start of the game as well. So, yeah, look, no shadow there. Now, hopefully this one will get in. I mean, we're going to get into the game quicker on the 2021. We'll just have to leave the 2020 doing its thing there. We don't need to see both at the same time in a game. We just need to see them at some point. Okay, the 2020 is getting its way there. It's going to be interesting to see if there's a shadow immediately, you know, at the home base before it takes off here, waiting for the plane. In fact, there was a player there with no shadows. Oh yeah, look at that straight away. Shadow on me and shadows on the players. Okay, now let's see. Hold on, 18 seconds. Let me just do something quick before they go in. If I go back and just double verify here, look, there's the settings, and as we can clearly see, they're identical, right? Shadows on both. Okay, now I'm saying that immediately. That's proven me point. But we'll wait until we get into the game here. What I need to do is try and jump somewhere where I don't get had off immediately by a ton of bots. Okay. So, yeah, I think already I've proven my point here. Now, like I say, this video wasn't done for just like trolls and people who just mouth off in comments. I don't care about people like that. They mean nothing to me. The reason why I've done this is only because of the insistency of some people who appear to be genuine because they make content. Because it would appear that there are genuine people out there who are having different results than me. That's why I'm doing this, because I've got an open mind to these things, and I'm prepared. Do you know what? Let me just jump out of both planes here. I'm prepared to accept that what I'm seeing is a problem. It is a problem, obviously, we can see that now. But I'm prepared to accept that it could be bugs. And these bugs may not even be consistent. And that's the worst thing, or that's the worst type of bug. Let me try and get on the floor quickly here. That's the worst type of bug, I think, are the ones that are not consistent either, because you can't reproduce them that easily and show people, which is the reason why sometimes, you know, people can't see the same things that you can see. All right, so coming down here, I'll get down first on the 2021. I'll leave the 2020 to land itself there. Okay, look, immediately no shadow on the player now, and there's no shadows here on the objects. Okay, there we go. So that's my point proven there. Now, I'll just quickly, hold on, where are we? Settings again. Just to double verify again with the graphics, look. It's all still the same. And there we go, shadows are switched on. In fact, on the last video that I've done, I live switched anti-aliasing, and that actually did have an effect. So the graphics settings do take effect if obviously it's working properly, because anti-aliasing did work on my previous version, which people will have seen. Okay, now there we go. Straight away on the 2020, there's a shadow on the player, and there is going to be shadows, and we can see shadows anyway there. They are shadows off that tree there. Okay, so yeah, shadows everywhere there. All right, so yeah, there we go. So all I can say here is everything that I noted in the first video is exactly the same with this one. The only thing is, obviously, I had people calling me out on that first one. This is not what that video is for. And I'll reiterate again, people like that, I don't care. If they went and evaporated, I wouldn't care. I don't have time to engage with people who are just being either deliberately misinforming or, putting it bluntly, just stupid people. Do you know what I mean? The reason why I've done this again is, like I've just said before, is because there are genuinely good people out there who have had different results, and that's why I'm showing it for them people. It's just because I've got nothing to prove here. I mean, regulars to my channel come to my channel because I don't lie. I'm dead straight. Do you know what I mean? It's, I'm not, putting it bluntly, I'm not full of shit, and I don't bullshit either. So I've got nothing to prove, and I would never try and prove myself to anyone. And plus, if you start messing around with trolls and divvies in comments, do you know what I mean? They just suck the life energy out of you. You know what I mean? Just stay clear of knobheads like that. But like I say, this is strictly because I do believe there are inconsistent bugs here. Now, are those bugs to do with the fact that this is an 11-inch and it's only got 8 gig and only 8 gig RAM, 128 gig storage? It could be, and maybe a 12.9 with like 256 and 16 is different. However, that shouldn't be the case, because the 12.9 and the 11 there. So I just touched that when I said 12.9. I'm not saying that's a 12.9. I was seeing if the screen had gone blank. What I'm saying is, with the M1s, the CPU and GPU are identical. So regardless of the amount of RAM and this, that, and the other, it shouldn't make a difference. However, I will accept that maybe bugs occur because of the differences. And the other thing to remember as well, with the 12.9s and stuff like that, you might have 16 gig of RAM. Unfortunately, the iPad ain't using it. Do you know what I mean? That's another conversation that I'll get into in a different video. But the M1 variations of the iPads are like way over spec for what the operating system does. These iPads, right, only have an upper limit of, I think, about 5 gigabytes that they will allow any app to use. So whether you're on an 8 or a 16, it wouldn't matter for any app. And the reason for that is because the apps were always designed to have limitations so that they didn't overstress like the hardware within the iPads, because you have to remember earlier iPads like this one here, what's this, 4 or 6 gig or something, do you know what I mean? These things are designed to work with a minimal amount of memory, and then storage space is just what it is. That's, however much storage you are or not going to use. But the point that I'm getting at is, yes, maybe on the 12.9 variant of the M1, it could be different again. Now, I'd only say it could be different because on a 12.9-inch iPad, there are more pixels on the screen, so it has to render more. Technically speaking, the performance on an 11-inch is better than a 12.9. That's a given. And the reason why is because a 12.9 has got more pixels on the screen. More pixels means more processing for any single frame compared to an 11-inch to a 12.9. So strictly speaking, the 11 is actually a better gaming machine than the 12.9 because the screen is a lower resolution. Now, it's gone on to do the screen size. It's just the amount of pixels physically on the screen. And the 12.9 definitely has to render at a higher resolution. That's the final output to the screen. However, I don't know whether the game internally will be rendered into that exact resolution to match the output. And like I said earlier on, the reason why anti-aliasing is, quite often a good thing to switch on is due to things being upscaled as well. Anti-aliasing isn't strictly designed for upscaling, but it does help it. Anyways, yeah, I could carry on going on here all day and all the rest of it talking about stuff. But yes, once again, another long video, but this one is proven exactly everything that I'd already said in the previous video. And just on that as well, last couple of points here. Right, the 2020 definitely renders a higher quality than the 2021 in this game, as it does with all the games. Even COD, which is the closest match on both of these, is still slightly better on the 2020. Now, the thing is, I've already had people giving it meh about, I had settings different. Once again, I've got no interest in people like that. Anyone who comes to my channel, who watches my stuff, knows I don't BS them, and I'm honest with what I do. Why on earth would I want to deliberately make something look bad? It's just stupid, isn't it? Anyway, that settings thing to do with the graphics quality. The 2020 definitely does a slightly better render than the 2021. Now, here's the thing. You're not going to see it like this, and you won't see it probably if someone's only capturing at 1080. The other thing you have to remember here, my videos are captured in 4K. I come out in 4K. My renders, all my rendering for my YouTube videos, it doesn't get better than what I do. Do you know what I mean? It'll get worse. I see a lot of stuff which is way worse for quality than what I do. And that's the reason why I know and I can categorically say that there are definite variations, especially to do with graphical quality within the render, because I am capturing at 4K and I can see all that. So the thing is, the 2020 is definitely beating the 2021 with absolute render quality. But like I say, you won't see that here. It's the camera is not going to be good enough to pick the differences up between screens. You could only see that over HDMI, and I've already done it. And you could also see as well on that one where I compared the difference. There was you could see also that there was no shadows on the M1 version in that test as well. Also, there is one thing where I've got to be dead honest as well. And that is, both of them drop frames. So when we're talking at 90 frames per second, they don't drop frames at 60 frames per second output when they're set to 90 frames per second. Both of them are great. They definitely don't drop frames out of the 60 when they're set to 90, and you would expect that. However, both of them, when they are set to their highest quality output, which still should be 60 frames per second, isn't. As I've proven, it's averaging out to be 40 frames per second. It basically skips a frame every third frame. But I'm being dead honest, both of them do that. So in that instance, the 2020 doesn't have an advantage over the 2021. But I suppose to summarize here, and I know people are still going to, no matter what I do here, there's going to be people who are just going to make excuses here for Apple and excuses for the developers, as in like, oh, well, this is newer, and yeah, all right, go and sling your hook with that one. The simple fact here, right, is the 2020 is better than the 2021 at rendering graphics for games. I've proven it time and time again, and I don't care how many people are going to turn on and start giving it, yeah, but the 2021 still got a long way to... Oh, shut up. Do you know what? Right. This has had major updates for 3 games, and it still isn't as good as the 2020. Simple as, that's it, bottom line. Can't be argued with. So this is the thing. People can sit there all day long, blah, blah, blah. See, by the time this might get better than that, if it can, that's probably when the next iPad comes out, and then what happens to this one? Simple as, do you know what I mean? So right now, the 2020 is the better iPad. Even if what I've shown you here, even if this is down to bugs, I don't care. It would still mean that the 2020 is still better. Somebody might suggest that, oh, well, without any bugs, the 2021 would be better. Would it? How do we know that? Because if it is down to bugs, we can't tell anyway. And if it isn't that, and if there were no bugs, why isn't it better straight away? These things, it's all self-fulfilling prophecies, and you just and also you get stuck in a loop with these things just going round in circles because people don't understand the fact that this should have been noticeably better than this on day of release. But one thing that I've found since, like, you know, doing more stuff to do with Apple products is just how insanely stupid Apple fanboys are. Now, I won't get into that right now because I'm going to do a video. I think I'll do a coffee with David about Apple fanboys. Seriously, there's nothing worse in the world, and it's unbelievable. You can sit there and show them all the proof in the world, and these people, they're just not reasonable, honestly. Like any fanboy, to be honest, but Apple fanboys just seem to be worse. You can show them it. You can absolutely show them it, do you know what I mean? It'd be like, as for instance, I don't believe there's a Loch Ness monster, okay? However, if I went to Loch Ness and I seen this big serpent thing come out the water and look at me, I would then believe in Loch Ness monsters, okay, if I seen it with my own eyes. And this is the thing. I'm showing people stuff here, and they still argue with it. They argue as if what I've done doesn't exist, and it's madness. Anyways, yeah, I've enjoyed this video. Actually, it's been quite cathartic, to be honest. And yeah, once again, this was only done because I do believe that there are certain people out there who are not. They're not having the same problems as me, and I believe that. I'm not going to question those people, you know what I mean? I'm not going to question those people the way I've been questioned because, and I don't want to cause an argument here because I'll do this and another. What it is, this video is not designed to cause arguments, and it's not because I'm being a pussy, okay? I am going to cause arguments, but in different videos. I don't want to do it in this one. But what I will say is, people have been questioning me, and they are stupid people because they have not taken on board the fact that there are such things as bugs, okay? And those bugs may be causing the problems. That has been my whole thing. Yes, I'm saying the output is screwed because it is, but I'm not denying that that could be down to a bug. But nonetheless, bug or not, it is still broke. This is my bottom line. It's broke. Obviously is. However, I've been getting pulled up in comments by idiots who they're just too simple in the head to understand the variations of these things, and the fact that before you start calling someone a liar or questioning someone's integrity, understand what it is that they're doing, and more than that, maybe check a YouTuber's videos first to see exactly what they normally are like with their videos. You know what I mean? That's it. Stupid people, unreasonable. All right.